So, have you ever wanted to set up your own NAS using a Linux operating system? Well, check out this video. What's up, guys? This is Josh back with another video, and today I want to show you guys how to set up your own NAS using a free and open source operating system that's super cool. And this operating system is based on Debian and FreeBSD, but the name of it is TrueNAS. And I wanted to walk you guys through how to get this thing set up on your hardware. Now, TrueNAS is an awesome Linux distribution, and this will mainly allow you to set up your own NAS at your house without spending a lot of money. Let's say like on a Synology drive. Let's say you want to use your own hardware. You have an old desktop and you have, some drives that you can use for storage. Well, TrueNAS is a perfect option to actually set up some network attached storage and share it throughout your network. That way you can move files back and forth between other systems that you have on your network. So let's hop over to their website and check out what this thing is all about. Before we move forward, I wanted to give a quick shout out to CIQ, the official partner of Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux is a Linux distribution that is intended to be a downstream complete binary compatible release using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system source code. The project is led by Gregory Kurtzer, who was the founder of the CentOS project. So check out Rocky Linux at ciq.co. Alright, cool. So the website is TrueNAS.com, and of course I'll always have the link down in the description of the video. So if you want to go here and check out TrueNAS, it'll be down in the description of the video. But as you can see on the site, first thing that pops up, it says open storage means true value, true enterprise storage freedom, it's in TrueNAS. So it's super awesome. It's free, open source, and you can, all you need is the hardware and the space, and you can create your own network attached storage using this operating system. Now there are a couple different versions of the software you can download, and I wanted to show you all three. So they have the TrueNAS Core, which is the community edition, which has some limits from the enterprise version, but you have access to a big community of people that develop for TrueNAS. So there are a whole bunch of apps out there, that you can install on the NAS. Just like any other NAS, like Synology, they have an app store. You can install all your apps on there, like Plex and different things, music players and all that stuff. Well, TrueNAS has the exact same thing, and it's super dope, and you have access to that on the core. Now, the enterprise version is essentially for companies that want to, manage all their network attached storage using the operating system, and I'm assuming they offer support on your TrueNAS setup on your company network. But what we're gonna do is install TrueNAS, and this video is kind of tailored towards your average users that are using this at your house, just to have storage to store whatever you're trying to store at the house. And I know I said store like a bunch of times, but that's essentially what it is. So TrueNAS Core is the one we want to download, but let's check it out right fast. But it says world's most popular storage OS, free and open source, unified storage build on OpenZFS. So it uses ZFS, which is awesome. Installs on hardware or virtual machine, so you can put it in a virtual machine, attach your storage there, so that's an awesome way of actually doing it, using it. So if you have a hypervisor or something, you can create a virtual machine and run TrueNAS in that virtual machine and manage all your storage from there. And also community supported, like I said. That's the core version. And then they have a little information about it right here if you want to scroll down and look through this. Like I was saying, ZFS, this is one of the most important ports in my opinion. OpenZFS, at the heart of TrueNAS is the self-healing OpenZFS file system. Previously only available on the highest end enterprise storage systems, TrueNAS gives you direct user-friendly access to ZFS. So that's awesome that ZFS is included. And it also says with built-in RAID, powerful data management tools, and ability to automatically detect and repair silent data corruption and bit rot. TrueNAS and OpenZFS ensures data integrity from start to finish. So that's one of the most important things. That's why I wanted to highlight this, at least read this part of it. But data integrity, you know, at the end of the day, with ZFS, you know, that's one of the best file systems you can use, you know what I'm saying? And then also, if we go down a little bit more, you'll see the community. So there's a whole bunch of people out there creating documentation as well as tools for you to use on your TrueNAS system. And just so you guys know, this used to be called FreeNAS. And I just wanted to point that out in case you guys didn't know. But let's go down and hop over to my virtual machine so we can get this thing installed. It's super simple. The installation is very simple to install. And it'll only take a couple minutes and we'll be up and running. And I'll show you guys how to actually, you know, use the application. It's all managed in the web. Your server basically hosts a website on there that allows you to manage everything within the operating system as far as storage, applications, you know, users, groups, all that stuff is controlled via the web application. So it's super dope. And one thing I forgot to show you guys is downloading it. So you just basically go to download TrueNAS Core, click there, and then now what it's going to do is try to get you to sign up. You can bypass this by hitting no thanks, I have already signed up, and this will take you to the download page. And the current stable version is 13.0-U8, so you can get that current stable version, you know, for production use by just hitting this download button. That'll download the ISO, and then you can start your install. And then also, let me cover this as well. TrueNAS's minimum requirements: 64-bit CPU, 16 gigabits of RAM memory, as well as a 16 gigabyte boot drive. So you want to have at least those minimum requirements. I'm gonna actually have it a little low because I'm only running on a virtual machine. I'm only give it like 8 gigabytes of memory, and that's mainly because I'm not setting it up for production use. I'm only setting it up so you guys can see, you know, at least one attached disk, and I don't have to do that. Well, that one disk will be for the operating system itself. And then network ports, you know, obviously hardware RAID not required. Full hardware requirements, you can click here and you can check that out. And then also, here are some of the stats: 10 million plus downloads, and I know that it's been around for a very long time. It used to be called FreeNAS. A lot of people use it, you know, back in the day. Open source, you know, it's free, you know, all that good stuff. So let me hop over to the virtual machine. We can get this thing installed. Alright, cool. So once you get the system booted up, this is what will pop up. As you can see, and I tried to stop it right fast, but as you look up at the top, it gives you a couple options. And I know this is kind of small, but you guys should be able to read that. But it basically says boot TrueNAS installer by pressing enter. So that's all you have to do is press enter. And then there's another option. It says boot TrueNAS installer serial console, but we're going to use the first one. And number 3 is escape to loader prompt. And then also number 4 is reboot. And then option, you can look at the kernel. And then 6 is the boot option. So let's press enter, and that'll take us. And I actually killed the menu, so I'm gonna have to hit the question mark so I can get back to the menu. So let's press enter. And that'll bring up everything again, so we don't even have to look at the menu. And just to quickly get back to that menu, because I want to get back to that menu, I'm gonna just type reboot, and that'll reboot our system and bring up that menu again, so I ain't have to worry about trying to get back into it. But all we have to do is hit 1. That'll actually boot into the installer. And let's get this a couple seconds. And it's kind of small, and actually let me make it a little bigger so you guys can see everything I do while I'm typing through the install. Alright, cool. So all you have to do is hit install and upgrade, which is 1. Now the way this thing works is basically a terminal, and so this is a terminal menu. It's a little bit different from a regular menu. You can't use your mouse. You have to kind of tab through things. So you can tab down and tab to OK, press enter, And then right now it's asking you to select the hard drive. So if we hit the space bar there, you'll see that it becomes selected, and then you can drop down, press OK. And then right here, this is just a warning about the installation. It's basically saying that it's going to erase all partitions on that drive. Now this is a virtual machine with a fresh drive, nothing is on it, so it's fine to wipe it. We don't have to worry about anything. So let's just press enter. Boom. First thing it's going to ask you is the password for the root account. So all we have to do is type in something, you know, semi-strong or super strong if you're going to use this in production. And this is what you'll use when logging into the web UI. There'll be a root account and you can log in using that. Now, there are two options to boot. You can use the BIOS, the legacy BIOS version, or you can use UEFI, which, you know, is awesome. You know, it's supported. So I'm gonna just use the BIOS. That's easy enough right there to use. But it's gonna go through, finish the installation. It doesn't take long. It'll set up the network connection. It'll set up pretty much everything for you. It'll install a base OS, you know, get everything set up, and then I'll be back when it finishes, because all it's going to do at the end of this is just show you the link to the website, which is the IP address as well as the port number, and then you can go to the web UI and log into it and start working with your TrueNAS server. Now this is essentially the end of the installation, and all it's doing is asking you to remove the ISO and press OK, and it will reboot and boot into the actual system. So let's press enter. Boom. And go down to reboot. Boom. And that'll reboot the system from the installation hardware. And as you can see, it'll pull up that same menu, but it'll show like boot TrueNAS as well as some other options like I showed you in the beginning, but it's booting from the actual hard drive this time. Alright, so once it boots fully up, like I was saying, it'll show you the IP address of how to actually log into it. All you have to do is go to the web UI, and it's basically that IP address, you know, to actually get to it and log in it using the password that you set up during installation, as well as root as the account. And I'll show you guys that when we get there. But you do have some options on here. They're kind of blocked by my virtual machine right now, but one, configure network interface, and I'm not going to go through all this, but configure link, VLAN interfaces, the default route, static route, DNS, you know, reset the root password if you forget it, you know what I'm saying, reset configuration to defaults if you need to. There's a shell you could drop down to, as well as reboot and shut down. But all of this stuff you can do within the web UI, except maybe reset the password, the root password, because if you don't know what it is, then you obviously can't get into the root UI or the web UI, I'm sorry. So all you have to do is leave this running, and then we can go back to our browser right fast and type in that IP address, and that'll get us to our TrueNAS site. Alright, cool. And that IP address was 192.168.10.158, and I'm sorry, it's 159. Press enter. Boom, that'll get us to our TrueNAS server. As you can see, you know, super simple. All you have to do is type in your username. So that username by default is root, and then like I said, that password that we created during the installation, that's all we got to do is type that in, and that will get us into the server. Boom. So as you can see, very simple to use. It's not that difficult to use at all. I mean, it's basically, you know, everything you need is right here on the left hand side under the menu. So it starts off with a dashboard. Right now it looks a little weird. It'll look a little better if I had the screen a little bit bigger. It'll bring up some of these, you know, things on the dashboard, make them look a little better. It's just my browser is a little small to fit up in OBS, but let's make it, let's close that menu. But as you can see, you know, that's how it'll look when you log into it. You'll see everything about your TrueNAS system from right here. You got your platform, it's the generic TrueNAS version. You got your host name, the uptime, so it's been up for 3 minutes or so. You can check from updates right here from the main dashboard. CPU usage, it tracks all that for you. It's super dope. And then the memory, so right now, like I said, I only set it for 8 gigabytes. Only have got 8 gigabytes to this virtual machine. Really don't need it for anything else. I'm gonna delete it after this video, and then also your network information, so all that under there. Now let's go back to the menu. I wanted to show you guys everything. So this is the account we're logged in as root. Now you can go under here under accounts and manage your groups and users. So if you want to create another user, more than welcome to, as well as groups. So you have people, you know, logging into the server if you need to. I mean, that ties to our network shares and all that. So you can create all your accounts there. You can give them access, like specific users access to specific drives for storage. And then system, this is all your system settings. So you general, and I won't go through them all, but here's the general information. The GUI, you got your SSL search you can install, MTP servers, so time servers, boot, so this is how the system is booted, as well as, you know, the space and all that good stuff. They got some advanced settings in here, and like I said, I don't want to go through everything, but you got email, system data sets, you got alerts, cloud credentials, SSH connections. You can add SSH keys here, right here under SSH key pairs. So you can add your key pairs here. You can manage all that from here. Certificate authority, certificates, all that, two-factor authentication, which is dope to actually have. So let's minimize that. But you got tasks. So if you use Linux, you know what I'm saying, you obviously know about cron jobs. So you can select automatic jobs on the system using, you know, right here, this web UI. Initialization scripts if you want to, or shutdown scripts, or sync tasks. You can set up tasks to, you know, sync data back and forth, you know, keep data in sync. Let's say you got a backup drive, you can sync your files and keep like a mirror, you know, of all your files on a different separate drive. Smart test, you can test all your hard drives that you have connected. And then this is super dope right here. They got cloud sync tags, so you can sync things to the cloud. You know what I'm saying? So that's super dope, you know, using jobs. Now network settings, if you want to go in and modify your network settings, like I was saying, like I was showing you guys in the terminal, you know, you had all those network settings. You can go in, make changes to your interface. You know, this is your network summary, global configuration. If you want to change it, DNS servers, host name, this is where you can go in and change it. Pretty much any and everything dealing with network. You can set up static routes, so you get to go right there. Now, the most important part, which is the purpose for setting up a TrueNAS. It's a NAS. So storage, important part. So you set up your pools, snapshots, VMware snapshots. Let's click on pools. It's not going to show anything because we don't have any drives selected to or created to this disk to create pools on. You got your disk, which the only one that's going to show up is the default disk. But if you had more, you know, that'll obviously be list there. You can import this, you know, all that good stuff. Now directory services, they do it's crazy, man. Like, and that's, you know, why they have an enterprise version. You can put this on an Active Directory network. So you got Active Directory, you know, you got a domain name, you know, account names and all that stuff if you want to sync, add it to a domain. LDAP, so LDAP, you can, you know, connect your or create your authentication, you know, all that stuff. NIS, Kerberos, key tab, Kerberos settings. So you got a whole bunch of, you know, tools under here. So set up your shares. I'm not going to go through and show you guys all of this, but this is how you set up your shares. You got Apple shares, block shares, Unix shares, even Windows shares, SMB. So, and you can get to those from Linux as well. Services, so you do have services on the server you can activate, and this is just default services like FTP or NFS, OpenVPN client. You can create that. So good to go with that. And now one of the fun parts, you know what I'm saying, where you can add a whole bunch of like apps to the server under your plugins. So as you can see, it says no pool right now because we don't have any pool, but you can set up Plex server, Nextcloud, SyncThing, a whole bunch of little tools. Now this is under the main repository or the official repository for the plugins for TrueNAS. Now they have a community location as well, so you can go through, look at all the applications that they have under here as well. So AdGuard, archive where or archive where, however you say it, backup PC, FAMP, GitLabs. You know, it's a whole bunch of like little tools you can add or plugins you can add into this system. Homebridge, Jenkins, you can set up a Jenkins server, MarianDB, you know, server. You can pretty much set up any and everything on here, you know, a MineOS server. And one thing we haven't got to is virtual machines. So this thing you can actually run virtual machines on it, but Radar, private bean, it's a lot up in here, man, and I'm not gonna go through it all. I just want to kind of scroll through it, you know what I'm saying. You can check all that out. Now jails, here you go. We don't have any pools set up, so obviously jails won't work, but you also have reporting, so you check this out as well. This is all your system information basically. So CPU usage, system load, you know, that good information right there. And you can click right here and this will take you to everything on the system. So this, you can check out your disk, which we don't have anything, but memory, check out your memories information. So basically this is just a way to, you know, check out your system stats when it comes to all your different you know, hardware that you have on the system, and see if there's any bottlenecks, you know, networking issues, whatever. You know, you can check out all the information there. Now what I was talking about was virtual machines a few minutes ago. So you can create virtual machines, super easy to do. Won't go through the process, but they have a whole bunch of documentation for everything in here, so you can understand how to actually use it. You just got to get in and play around with it. Now also display system processes, so this will allow you to basically run top. So this gives you information, you know, that you would see if you were in the terminal, you know what I'm saying, and running the top command. This will open up that little small application that you can run within the terminal to check out the system load times, you know, all that information, process IDs, you know, usernames that are actually running these processes, you know, as well as the sizes, basically all that information you see in top or htop. Now you can also open up a shell, so that's one of the cool parts about it. So instead of going back to your virtual machine and open up the terminal from there, you can, you know, open up the terminal here and run whatever you need to run here, maybe some updates or something you want to do, whatever. And like I said, this is Debian as well as FreeBSD based. So and then also if you click guides, they'll take you to the full documentation for this distribution, you know, TrueNAS. So you can find any and everything that you need, you know, within the documentation right here. And let me go down and close that. But yeah, you're good to go. This is how you set up a TrueNAS server. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And like I said, if you want to set up your own NAS at your home network or whatever, to manage all your data, then TrueNAS is probably one of the perfect solutions for you to do that without spending a whole bunch of money on like a Synology drive or one of those big company drives that you could buy. All you had to do is spend money on a cheaper computer and put a whole bunch of hard drives in it, install TrueNAS, and it'll run perfectly, you know what I'm saying, managing all your network storage. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comments below, and of course, keep it techie.